Oh god, I'm gonna click on the cap frame rate button again and see what happens. Oh, it actually worked this time.
Oh yeah.
It didn't like instantly fucking crash. And it lowered the frame rate to something, that doesn't cause. If it was water cooled, I wouldn't give a fuck, but
you haven't set that up yet? Or did you give up on water cooling your machine?
oh no, I haven't given up. It's the water block I need for this card isn't made yet.
Oh, that's why.
I pre-ordered one, so they should send me one once they start making them. But so it may be January. They said that they'll get them in by the end of December, so I'm thinking January sometime. Maybe February I'll actually have it.
Oh shit.
Oh, how do we need to create completely new characters now?
Probably.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hello? Yep.
I clicked a button and then it died again. Like it looks like it's dying.
After I go back to main menu, I pressed the wrong option.
Well, that's fine. It looks like I'm gonna have to reset my system, so.
Cool.
But at least it looked like it started to work correctly. Maybe I should just leave it at this and let it just, burn the world.
Alright, I've got a lobby open.
It's gonna be a while.
It's all good.
Like, my system's basically crashed, but the system hasn't realized that yet. So, that's why I can still talk to you, but I can't do anything else. I can't alt-tab out.
Yeah, sometimes the mic just still works, but that's it.
Yeah. It's like the mic, the internet system, just so many things are working just great, but
the game do what the game do.
Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it as is. If it didn't keep these settings, I'm not gonna touch them. I'm just gonna see what happens. Ugh.
Hey, Fallen. Weird. My chatbot is doing something dumb. I sort of see your message. That works.
I'm gonna restart. See ya.
Alright, yep. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, that should do it. I just gotta adjust the music on a... Wait, no. I'm gonna turn it back up in a second. Let me get better filters. $16? Try 16. 16 look like. We'll go down to a 13 on that. No. Other way, 18. There. That is max volume with the new filter, which is at the bottom of the yellow instead of at the top. But how you doing, Fallen? I am eating a quesadilla. And Puppy's trying to manipulate me. But I will not be manipulated in my own house. I say as I reach for my bag of treats.
Wish me luck.
No.
And tell me what to
Roll for it.
Oh god, now you're the game. It's so bad. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna play the game. Did you make a new character, or did it like keep your original?
I went create new game from multiplayer lobby, so I could try launching the old game.
Oh no, don't worry about that. I think that once we get into the game, was it last time when we got in together? That's when we could make characters.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to join the lobby, because I figure if I go now, you wouldn't be able to make a character.
True.
More game volume? Alright.
More.
And by more, I mean less. Alright, that is there, and we'll just go ahead and do that as well. You been doing a lot today? Much writing? That's good. Glad you're doing some writing, Fallen. Yeah, this intro soundtrack is really intense. I'm about to finish my quesadilla, so I see you joined. I'll probably hit launch and then...
Oh, give me a second. It hasn't like... Okay, now I see it.
Then go clean up my plate, and then I'll be back. And hopefully
Gotcha.
it doesn't take too long to load, but we'll find out.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, this whole scene. Alright, be right back.
Oh, this is a fun one.
Alright, I've got water, and I am good to go.
Okay, I'm making a character.
Come on. You can lay down. You can lay down, puppy. But yeah, that's not working today, so you can fuck off, and we'll just use normal chat window. All right, are we making another cleric?
Ooh, the mute button does work.
Fuck off, puppy. You can go away. Yeah, can. It's possible.
This one seems interesting. I'm gonna switch up everything I do.
Cool. No. Fuck off. Yeah. Yeah, the problem with D&D, as I've said, and what you've seen so far, and we'll see what if they've done, if anything, about it, is...
About what?
Like, where we were at in the game, you hadn't even seen, like, your class to at least the first glimpse of its potential. Because most classes at level 3 get their, like, first real, like, class ability. But most classes don't get, like, a second attack until 4th or 5th level. And, like, the number of attacks and your bonuses and the actual abilities don't start rolling in until, like, level 5. Where you actually start feeling less, incompetent. Because, like, in my Saturday game, the ranger in my group is absolutely atrocious on damage. And the difference between level 4 and level 8 is just stupid. Because, like, whenever you're attacking... You're hoping, you're like, come on, give me a 3. A 3 is a good roll. But, like, he's doing, like, 20-something damage in attack. So it just ramps up in a completely odd way. But I guess I'm still cleric. Can we customize? Yes. Some degree. I guess I need to stay cleric. Trickster domain did not do me dick all. So we'll probably just go one of the actual good ones. Never mind. My computer just crashed.
Oh, god damn it.
This, however, I think is its problem, and maybe not the game. So,
Okay.
I can just run it on the
Laptop
as normal. Yeah. And I'll just have to sort that out some other time.
Yeah, no problem.
And by some other time, I mean buy the new graphics card and then hope that fixes everything, which it probably won't.
It'll fix a lot.
Steam on this computer. Plug in. Monitor. Keyboard, mouse. Bunch of crap in my way, but that's fine. What the fuck are you doing, computer? Thank you. Oh, so many sneezes. At least stream's protected. I think you're kind of fucked unless I go push to talk Andy.
Oh, what's? Oh, okay. What am I gonna hear you twice or something?
No, you're just gonna hear me once, but there's no filter on it, so you're just getting full volume sneezes.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. You know you've played Hades, right? Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Okay. The voice actress for Aphrodite and Dusa plays Hades on Twitch. Decent small community streamer.
Oh, interesting. It is funny how with social distancing being at least half of a thing or something in the country, that should be more, is all these people finding the introvert hangouts such as Twitch, because Terry Crews was playing Danganronpa on stream yesterday.
Terry Crews?
Terry
really?
Crews was playing Danganronpa.
Oh boy, that's not what I would have expected from him, but I don't know what I would have expected from him, honestly. Yeah, but it's got to be a little weird. I keep forgetting that a lot of voice actors actually like the stuff that they, it's for some of them it's obviously a job, right? But it's cool too, Bonus.
Yeah, all the so I know a couple people starting out voice acting and getting some small gigs, but all the people they interact with and sort of try to rub shoulders with or follow or idolize or whatever all seem to like all the projects they're on. So
oh no,
I think it's pretty yeah, there'll be a X in the top right corner that'll take you back to the main menu once you get to character select. So it's not as big of a time waste as you might.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be just a gigantic, but it actually went pretty quick. Okay. Let me know when your game is up.
This might not work. I'm not sure I did the update on the laptop.
Oh no.
So
is there another game?
It's pre-allocating.
You remember how long that took?
Yeah, that is not going to be done today.
Would you like to play something else?
Let's give Baldur's Gate one more shot on the desktop, and then when it inevitably crashes and burns, yeah, we'll just look through the library and see what we got.
Perfect. I like that.
But still no guarantee since my desktop was crashing on Final Fantasy 15. Although I did notice 15 has apparently some multiplayer functionality or DLC or something weird, and I'm just like, what the fuck? That's odd. I haven't actually looked into what it is. But yeah, so this probably don't need that, so 4?
It loaded super quick this time, but I think I closed it down and then restarted, and it popped up. You're sneezing, I'm coughing. It's a good time.
All right, desktop's restarted. Just logging in. We'll see how it go.
I can't believe the pre-allocation took like 15 minutes on an SSD.
Yeah.
I don't know what these. This game is a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what engine they're using. Otherwise, I could make some guesses on why it might be doing that. Because there are reasons. So the reason why most larger AAA studios have this problem is the asset pipeline used to exist in a weird state because of older consoles, and they've just been reusing the same systems since 2000 or earlier.
Oh.
So like EA still uses its own internal file system and packs most of its assets into its own pack file and then indexes into that pack file as its own file system, because it was easier to do that than to use any OS features on like the PS2 or something to pull files and stuff. So that has been a holdover and it still exists, and that's why a lot of files like on your Call of Duties and stuff, even if whenever you have to download an update, most of the time it's 30 something gigs, because the build servers for turnaround on the development team, so that they're not just sitting and waiting, are pushed off into a cloud and are non-deterministic. So they just, one server pushes out bundles to other servers, and then they all aggregate into one file thing at the end when they're done packing. So it's not a non-deterministic system that their build does. So they can't just say, update this part in the file with this. It's push the whole thing whole hog, because you basically have to replace that everything. Anyway, Steam is up. Baldur's Gate. Launcher. Let's see if DirectX crashes again. We'll try the other one.
And it's like, how far do you get?
It displays the hand for the mouse icon, and that's... Oh, it's working this time.
I just noticed that the cave is breathing because I've been here for a while.
Oh yeah, because that Nautilus ship is a Cthulhu. It's a living thing. That whole ship's alive. Because that's you're talking the cave area with the containers that we start in.
Oh no.
Or
I don't. You know what? It's not that it's breathing. It's that there's like a breeze and it's moving around what looks like spider webs. But at first I'm like, is the cave breathing?
Could be.
You're like, that's not weird for this game. I'm gonna make, like, since everybody hates me anyways, I'm gonna make a class that nobody likes.
Alright, multiplayer. Lobby, create. Take 2. Friends only. Should be open. Does this still work? Oh no, there's some key combination for turning on a display overlay. So I can check the temperature of my graphics card. There we go. Because maybe my graphics card is overheating. And that's really the only thing I can think of at this point.
If it's running at like... Oh, you probably have a 60 hertz monitor, so that's probably fine.
I think the monitor's 120, but I'm probably not getting that.
Yeah, but like, the thing is, it'll try. That's always the problem, the try.
But yeah, I usually turn on VSync, and I think at least the settings, I had turned it down. Current session, graphics, version, up to date. Where was... I can't remember where in here that setting was. GPU, VRAM, CPU percent, RAM percent. None of these are the temperature. Tuning? That's all. Clock speed, power consumption, fan speed, temperature is at 68 degrees.
That's fine. 68 is reasonable.
It's not overheating at the moment. That's fine. But I now will forget where this is. We'll check it later when we're doing something a bit more. Okay. I guess cleric. Name. Background, acolyte, who cares? Doesn't really matter. Won't use that. Or that. Maybe we'll use that. It's not like medicine proficiency actually does anything.
It doesn't?
Well, it doesn't do anything to like heals and stuff, and I doubt there's any heal kits. Maybe they'll have some, and they're actually quite expensive, at least according to the rules as written. So unless actually doing medicine, These are all roleplay stuff. Insight, religion. Sure, I'll be a charlatan. I don't know.
Oh, that's so terrible. Let me see, just a few more options on stuff and I will be ready.
Lucky is fine. Constitution. Tiefling.
Oh, you're making a tiefling as well?
I don't know. I'm just looking through at the moment to see what they're giving me.
Pick my origins, race, appearance, class has been picked.
Elamar, you might do that. No, you can no. Down. Okay, elves get cantrips. Well, one of the elves gets cantrips. Keen sense of ancestry. Well, just I don't think there's a good tiefling for
There's a good tiefling for what?
cleric.
I don't think there is.
See, I can get one to everything. At least they're using. Is that the one everyone likes, or does everyone like the other one? I don't know. See, the Gith, intelligence and strength. I could get, but you get to start with Mage Hand, which isn't bad.
Are you still picking a tiefling?
No, I'm still just looking through what is available. Wisdom plus 1. Additional charisma charisma and dexterity. Human gets one of everything, or half elf gets two. Probably just two on a half elf, and I think a cantrip. I don't think there was a drow that really mattered. Dexterity, charisma, dexterity, charisma. Yeah.
We're both picking the classes nobody likes. I love it. Bound to a pact.
Oh, I can't put two into any... in that case... Sorry this is taking a while. I'm also playing fetch at the same time.
Yeah, no problem.
You hear that squeaking? Somehow that's a tennis ball. Don't know how he got a tennis ball to make that noise, but he do. Okay, appearance. Alright. Appearance and then class and... hairstyle. What hairstyle we want? Oh, it's a Kong tennis ball, so they probably did something weird in manufacturing to make it squeaky. I just have normal tennis balls. I don't know where that one came from. Alright, hair, though. You have a side mullet? Okay, that's not as weird as I thought it was. Hair, updo, another updo. Fancy updo. Hair, not side mullet. Oop. That one, last one was kind of cool. Thanks, puppy. Additional content. Alright, that hairstyle says, I'm too old for this shit and I just got out of bed. I think I'm gonna go with that one. But, do we add facial hair to our half-elf lady? Oh. Somehow we skipped over that one. All hair colors. Sure, that voice is fine. Next class. Cleric. Life Domain is obviously the best, unless they also have War Domain, which could maybe also be best. Alright, my dumb cantrips, that's fine. Paired spells. The problem is that's a level 1 spell, and while it's good, maybe we'll see how that works. Maybe these spells don't suck as much. Class feature, spell slots, wisdom, saving throw, charisma, light, armor, medium armor, blah, 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 blah. Subclass features. Your devotion empowers your healing spells. Additional healing. I thought the life domain was better. There is a... I thought there was a domain... Because there was one that maximizes your healing spells, I thought. Was it the life domain? Heavy armor, discipline of life, domain spells that are always prepared. Okay. Additional spells. Prepared spells. God of Murder. Well, that life domain was okay. Life, oh, we only have light, and trickery. Okay, so they're not giving us all of the big old ones. Because there are a ton of additional domains. Next. Skills, sure. Who cares? I guess. Probably fine. And abilities. We could... Oh, we can't take intelligence any lower. We're taking charisma lower. You know what? We're not gonna punch anybody. There's no reason to punch people. With the way this game goes. I just need to throw my spells at them and hope they work. I hate that they tell you that to get above this, it costs 3, but even if you have more than 3, you can't actually buy above it, which is dumb. Sure, whatever. We have spell, some bullshit. Yes.
Tell me, who do you dream of at night?
Is there a randomize button? Give me that random button. All right, we've already seen this.
So we can hit that lovely escape button.
My head. Wherever we are, it's falling apart.
Doesn't seem to be running poorly, so probably fine. We are somewhere that explodey dude. I'm gonna gain
Might still be stuck inside if we hadn't been
anything of
attacked.
importance. Probably not.
I need an 8 roll on something. Let's see what I can get. Oh, got a 3.
Good job.
Better.
This is the pool that thing came from. The parasite now writhing behind your eye.
Investigate. Hell yeah, -1s.
The casing is fragile. The slightest touch could cause it to crumble.
I don't know. Is there anything in the pool?
Its casing crumbles
I did not reach
into
in.
hands.
Once I failed the investigation check, I'm like, nope.
As it collapses.
I touched it.
What happened?
It threw me all the way across the room.
Oh, you didn't lose any health, so.
Yep. All right, we have to.
Am I in the house?
Did we have to elevator up, or do we just run through? Don't really need
I
to
think
know.
we can run through.
Probably just go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we had that guy helping us before. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, dog friend.
We are trapped.
I didn't seem to be able to go any further. Maybe we have to go up.
Thank you.
I just wanted. I wanted to see if it would let me, or if it would let you off first.
It doesn't really function like a real elevator. They couldn't.
Dog friend.
Yes, you've come to save us from this place. From this place, you'll free us. Please. Before they return. They return. Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
This vase of flesh. Inspect the exposed brain. That's not one I'm good at. So, dexterity I do have.
Boom.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient, should it prove a
His dog
threat.
friend.
The creature pauses, listening. Something behind your eyes seizes in recognition.
We must go to the helm. At the helm, we are needed.
What's your name? We are us.
We are us.
Alright, us, let's go.
To the helm we go. We are going to the helm.
It is dog friend.
Thank you for waiting. I said that too soon.
You said it while you weren't moving. Just
On
as
your
I had
screen?
just as I had gotten bored of waiting. But I didn't see you moving, so I was just like, meh.
Can you send it up?
Yeah, I'll send it up, so you don't have to find thing that sends it up. My character is Siri without the scar. Whenever I put the silver hair on, I was like, yeah, that's seems about right. I was thinking the same thing. Use jump to reach. Can't. I'm incapable. That was definitely outside of my jump range. Yes, and Siri has a dog. We got Siri a pet. Do you like?
Abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
Ugh. My head. What is this? Ugh. Skvar. You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive. Imps block the path forward. You will assist me in destroying them. We must reach the helm before we transform.
We already know about transforming. Onward then.
First, we exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control of the ship. As for that thing, it will remain tame as long as it believes we are thralls. It may be of use in the fight to come.
All right, let's see. Yes, combat tutorial. Actually, they are dumb. 65. Do I have more?
I cannot move very far.
I can move quite far, but I don't need to. Oh, what'd you make? Did you make a ranger again?
Nope.
Oh, I have 2 people. Let me give you one of them.
Maybe after the fight. You're just gonna have to do more now.
Oh, I'm also in the wrong game? Probably.
What? Wrong game.
Oh, on stream.
Oh, okay.
You know, bookkeeping. Something I sure as hell don't remember to do. Fallen came in last time we played this and was like, this isn't Final Fantasy 15. I added a kappa in my head to the end of that sentence, assuming that it was just haha because we played a bunch of Final Fantasy 15, and no, it was no, you didn't change the category, you dumbass.
Did I end my turn?
I'm doing the NPC's turns.
Okay.
You prove surprisingly adequate in battle. Now, to the helm.
I'm not sure if that put it in your group or not. Okay, are you following me? Doesn't look like it. Are they following you? Doesn't look like it. If you right click on the person and I guess group them to you, that's probably...
No, like, did you go into session and then move people around from there?
I only have access to you or my character from the session menu, so the NPCs aren't in the session anymore. So I think you can just, take control if it's not in my group.
Nope.
Nope. Oh well.
Yeah, it really does look like a character from The Witcher.
Yes, tactically unkempt and white hair. Oh well.
Are you in a fight?
No, I was looking at grouping, but it threw me into something for the tutorial, and then I ignored it. Heading up.
Do you still have make water?
Yes. Are you on the left or the right side?
I'm on the left side.
There you are. Probably sufficient.
We're going through this a little quicker than last time.
Yeah, we're not stopping to loot stuff.
You mean the trash? The utter trash that's everywhere?
Yeah,
you
but...
hit me.
Watch what I touch.
Oops, I hit. I did the wrong. I clicked the wrong thing. I misclicked. Meant to hit you with this, but it's doing some dumb shit, so I had to. Have fun.
I only need a 2. If I get a goddamn 1, I'm uninstalling. Do you see this?
What'd you do?
I gotta, oh my god. I have Arcada. Like, I got a 1 on a roll that I needed a 2 for.
Ignore you. Go press this button. Push the button. Whatever this is, we don't need to know about it.
Can you try here?
Yeah, I'll get it on the way back out.
It. And the reason I feel like you auto-fail it, because I had, like... It was improbable to get a 1 out of 20... A 1.
Welcome to D&D, where you have a 5% chance of always failing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Although technically, rolling a 1, that's the critical failure is only for combat. So technically, rules as written, critical 1, like a critical 1 does not apply to skills. So I guess technically, for the skills.
Get me out of this damn thing! We have no time for stragglers.
Arcana. Don't worry, I'll roll something. I'll be better than you. There you go, 15.
You got a 15?
Warding runes. The pod won't open unless they're destroyed.
The pod won't open unless we destroy the runes.
Ah. What do you do to destroy the runes?
I don't know. I touch them.
Are you satisfied? We need to go.
Leave the 1.
They're really
The
hostile.
1 must be left.
Wait! That can't be. There has to be another way. Please! It cannot be helped. Come.
Safe if she stays. Safe if we go.
Pokey dog friend. He did.
Oh, I'm not gonna use that. A, it has only a 60% chance. Oh, because I'm close. That's why the odds are so bad.
Yeah, if you're in melee range, you have disadvantage on all your ranged attacks. Punch him. Thank you.
Found a ring. I'm sure it will do almost nothing.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff over there. To the helm?
We're nearing the helm.
To the helm.
Once
it is.
inside, do as I say.
You're not my mom.
Did we find the key?
Did we need a key?
Yeah, there's a chest, but
Oh. We didn't have any green or better items when we got on the ship, so it doesn't matter. Whatever's in there is probably not important or good.
Connects the nerves of the transponder. We must escape now.
Go, dog friend. Wait a minute, I want to steal that. This item. No. Give me all your stuff.
level 8. Wow.
And then end your turn.
We need to get out of here now.
Oh well. Yeah, they're both level 8 or something like that. And Tentacle Face is, I think, at a disadvantage. So we
2
just
on 1 and a lower level.
yeah, we just run through and press the button. Ah, there's nobody close enough for that.
Yeah.
More of this. I love that 60% chance.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yep. I have cast it 6 times and hit it 0 times. 60%. Math.
That was a 95% that I hit.
Intruders open! The furnace is ours!
Aw, I was hoping to bless the stupid tentacle face guy.
Why do you want him to win?
It doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter who wins. I just have to press the button.
I remember.
So if he did win, he'd probably be low enough that we could steal the kill. That would be my hope.
Otsarion will have your head!
Hurry, before they strike.
You could just do it yourself.
Corpses in the sticks!
Dude, this is pretty even.
And the other question is, as I was saying, if we wait to hit the button, maybe we can steal one of the kills. Get a fuck ton of experience, right?
It's probably double normal experience, which is, you know, still
It didn't look like they were doing, like, it's a bunch of experience for their level, I would guess, but it didn't look like they were doing adjusting experience based on expectation of level.
yeah.
But still, gonna take me a second to get through these guys anyway.
Or your spine is
All right, they're both at about half. Did you, what? What even did you do? Whatever.
Is there a combat log?
Yeah, sort of. Bottom right or right side of the screen, about a quarter sided up. Except for it always starts at the top, and therefore is useless until you scroll all the way down.
Yep, I just saw that.
Nice. Now,
Our odds of hitting either one of them are so bad.
it's fine. Because he'll be threatened now, and the other guy will have a better chance of hitting him. Since he's threatened. You need to end your turn. Right? Yeah, it's you.
splendid! Intruders open! The furnace is ours!
Also, you go over there and hit him. Do whatever. Oh, there's some level 5s. I guess they wanted to entice us to actually do the thing. It'll be fine. As long as there's one person able to press the button.
Connect the transponder.
Ignore the devil. We must take the transponder.
See if we even have a chance. Hey, I did 3 damage. We have sort of a chance. We can actually hit them. But I am gonna keep moving closer to the thing just in case. So I'm not sure if these level 5 guys are gonna come for us, which I think they are.
Oh, they're gonna go.
Damn these imps. I need to reach the transponder.
There's no imps in the way.
Yeah, there's 2 guys that came from the door on the far side of the room, so they're slowly coming up and yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get enough damage by the time they actually get here. What are you doing? Dog?
It only did +1 fire damage.
Ooh, critical hit though. How much damage was that?
3.
3 damage!
Oh, those guys hit for 12.
The Helm's alien
Do you want to go on the Nautilus ship of hell and touch tips, Andy? Haha, JK, unless.
Unless. How did you even get back up to do this?
Touching tips is TOS?
Yeah,
oh shit.
At least that's why in what do you call it? In Cyberpunk, they're gonna have streamer options so you can take off all the stuff that's TOS violating.
Yeah. I could see that, because at least as far as the TOS is concerned, as long as you don't, like, you can stream games with a certain amount of nudity or other stuff, as long as you don't go out of your way to see the content or spend too long on that content. But yeah, if it's just pervasively there forever, then that could maybe be TOS, depending on the the way it's presented, because I know there's plenty of games that are against just TOS in general. You're not going to be able to see Keanu's dick on Twitch? Yeah, that's for YouTube. Honestly, I'm probably not getting 2077, so I ain't going to see Keanu's dick ever.
I don't think I'm going to get it immediately, but I am going to watch like every stream.
It's going to be pretty, it's going to have a lot of content, and it'll probably have, like, I'll have to see about the gameplay, but in general, it's definitely not as, like, it's not cyberpunk, as in the genre, even though its name is cyberpunk, because I do not consider the base content that it's based off of to be cyberpunk at all. It is terrible. It is not any of the top
tabletop role playing. I thought it was supposed to be like that.
Yeah, no. Cyberpunk 2022 is a tabletop role playing game. That is the base content that 2077 is based off of.
Yeah.
But it, like, all of its rules and the way it gamifies certain things is just trash compared to any of the other options you have on the table. Like, it's the way it's presented, the way that Cyberpunk 2022 presents the content and tries to justify in world the reasons for the way that they're doing the game mechanics, which are just trying to rip off and be Shadowrun.
Okay, I get it.
Are entirely contrary to Cyberpunk as sort of an idea or aesthetic. It's like the worst possible toxic interpretation of it. Like, basically, the accidental or purposeful removal of a limb to be replaced, or whether you lost it by accident or lost it intentionally, in the game world, pushes you towards a mental health break, basically saying that people who are not whole in that their bodies aren't sacrosanct, or I forget what the exact words that the cyberpunk people used, just makes you less of a human being.
I feel like that's going to be a tough mechanic to sell in this game.
So basically, whether you're changing your body, so in a way, it's ableist and transgender, at least from that perspective, if not for more perspective, which there are plenty of other perspectives that people are talking about, at least why it is transphobic to some degree. Because, like, yeah, it gives you the option to select your dick or your vagina or whatever, but they are inherently tying the voices to having a dick, so you can only have a deep voice if you have a dick, or a feminine voice if you have a vagina. And that is an option that does not need to exist, and they had to go out of their way to tie them together. Therefore, as a choice, they decided but anyway, from the other gameplay perspective that nobody's talking about, that after I did a deep dive into, because I wanted to see whether or not they were really being true to Cyberpunk, so I looked at the source material, and they're being true to the source material, and then I was not happy with what I found in the source material.
Gotcha, okay.
Because the way that they were talking about it, I'm like, okay, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, they've spent a decade on this game, and all the producers and stuff were talking in a very specific manner, and I'm like, this is not cyberpunk in any way. Like, considering the body wholly, and that like putting in machinery and stuff into the body is basically blasphemous, I think is the word they used. And some shit like that. And it's like, that is not at all what Cyberpunk is about. Like, replacing the whole, like, replacing the body because that is the exact opposite of what a lot of Cyberpunk stands for.
Okay.
And I was like, well, whether or not you want to believe that, like, I could see some good reasons being made. Like, okay, that could be some interesting stuff to talk about. But then the fact that, like, it's in the world, it's gamified that if you lose an arm, or you lose too many arms, too many limbs, or too many whatever, whether to replace them or just out of accident, you're gamified with a specific modifier that drives you closer to having mental health breakdowns, becoming psychotic, or other things like that. And it's just like, yeah, because disabled people don't exist. We know that people who lose limbs and stuff don't become psychotic messes. Like, where are you going with this?
It feels like a really old choice that was terrible then and is probably not great now.
Yeah,
they had no idea about it.
They had to differentiate themselves from Cyberpunk somehow, and that was the choice they decided to go with, because Cyberpunk does a similar gamified thing. So you can't have too much cyber equipment in a person's body or it breaks the game one way or another, because then someone becomes absolutely just overpowered. Like, okay, I've replaced my entire body, robot legs, robot arms, robot eyes, robot everything. I now have ridiculous stats and ridiculous abilities or whatever. So limiting the amount of basically equipment slots you can have for cyberware makes sense.
Yeah.
And the only thing that Shadowrun does, Shadowrun has the same ability. If you lose an arm, you lose one. It's essence. Maybe it's called humanity. I don't remember. I think Cyberpunk probably calls it humanity, and it's just essence in Shadowrun. Either way, whatever. The way it's gamified in Shadowrun, which I think is infinitely cooler because it also has more abilities, is in the Shadowrun world, magic is also a thing.
Yeah.
So when you replace an arm with cyberware, your magical essence ability goes down. So you're not stronger with you trade off magical ability for physical ability by replacing cyberware, and that's basically it. Your spell casts get less, and you can't cast as powerful or as large as spells or spells at higher levels or stuff like that, because your connection to your meat space is different, and that's it.
Yeah, those mechanics seem to work out well that way because they had that other thing to make that trade-off with. So. And I think that's a smart trade-off too. It balances the game pretty well, at least from the way you're telling it.
Yeah. Okay, we were here. There is Vampire Friend is down and to the left.
Do you still have Conjure Water? There's a guy here.
Yeah, I'll come up here. Just here in this one you're standing next to?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, it's an intellect devourer. I couldn't even see. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
Better stay back. One strike could be lethal.
But yeah, I actually did a deep dive into this, I think about last month when people started talking about it. I have a like 500-word essay in a Twitter thread about it.
Oh.
if you want a bit more details, but I think that about covers it. Just that the way that it's framed in there is not good, and the fact that they didn't just decide to say no. That because one, it doesn't really matter. However, it's gamified. It's a game mechanic. Like, you don't really need the extra stuff that makes no sense. Like
I feel like the magic we have is a bit more. I know this is off topic, but it seems more effective.
You are Warlock. Intelligence, Charisma. Oh yeah, Warlocks are Charisma based. You have a really high modifier, but also, yeah, your magic is definitely stronger. Even your cantrips are probably, like, my cantrips kind of suck because I'm tanky more so than damage. Like, my stuff hasn't really gone up any. My stuff still is a 50-60% chance to hit, and that's about it. You, however, are doing a good job.
Shouldn't have been this far forward. What did I want to do? Guidance.
But yeah, that was with the wizard. Yeah, the problem you're gonna have is just a less amount. However, if they did the warlock justice,
there is definitely an opportunity attack. I see it.
every creature gets one everything gets an opportunity attack. So you don't have to worry about whether or not it has one. It has one. It's unless you do something like that. I think with Tasha's Hideous Laughter, it won't get an attack of opportunity now.
It won't. That was 60%, so I got lucky. I got very lucky. And now you're just gonna fuck that thing up.
Yeah, now it's 100%. So let's just. Okay, I don't need to do like 36 damage to it. I'll save that spell.
Yeah, there are spells now that do more than one roll.
Oh yeah, because you have a class that do that. Because I've had this spell this whole time. It's called Guiding Bolt. It does 4d6 radiant damage. But again, on a 60% chance to hit, what is that going to be? It's mostly a miss. And also, if you roll, you can also roll a 4 on damage, because it's 4 dice if you roll low on all of them. But yeah, but your class does, yeah, you're not limited to finding a decent piece of equipment at the moment, or I guess ever. Let's see, there were 2 people. If we go down and left, there's the mage and the vampire are both to the west.
Okay. But wasn't there somebody that, like, fishermen or farmers?
Yeah, if we go this way around to the west, we'll come across the mage first, and then the vampire second, and then the third thing we'll come across is that thing that murdered me. I think that's the order. Where is
Can't
he?
lockpick anymore.
We don't have lockpicks. I think you can still try if we had lockpicks. It just would be a terrible.
I have bad rates on it, but I still was able to lockpick. Dexterity saving throws +1.
Okay, there's the vampire. Where's the other guy? Did we get the vampire first?
No, the first person we got was Shadowheart. Oh, you're saying did we get the vampire? Yeah, I think we got the vampire after Shadowheart.
Because our team was the other cleric and the mage. So I'm not sure where we got the mage, or if we decided. Okay, there was.
I talked to the mage, but then I gave the mage to you.
Okay, yeah. So you went up and right. So I came across him first. I'm gonna. get this stuff, and then I guess we'll have the...
Nice view.
Nature failed. I don't have nature either.
Yeah, but I guess you could at least come down here and see if you roll well. That had the stuff about, what's the secret group? The Harpers. I don't know if it really came in handy.
There's the vampire.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. So you talked to the other dude, you had the full team, and that's why I died.
I've got one of those brain
Well, one of the
things
reasons I
called-
died.
Yes, I had 3 people, and you
In the
couldn't
grass.
take him.
You can kill it.
Because you were in the middle of
Like you
combat
killed the
at the
others.
time. Kill yourself. You look capable and tough.
There. Can you see it?
No, I can see that I have good eyeshadow, though.
Shh. Not a sound. Not if you want to keep that down.
This isn't how it went last time.
Now, I saw you on the ship, didn't I? Not?
So they started going through and putting in more detailed animations and actually fleshing out these interactions, it looks like. Sure, yeah.
And now you're going to tell me exactly what you and those tentacled freaks did to me.
Nothing more than you're doing to me.
Don't lie to me.
Your mind twists.
Your
Looking
mind
out of
to my
unfamiliar
mind.
Eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm,
My thoughts to
light.
your thoughts.
the fear.
I can't believe you remembered all the mind meld stuff.
What's going on?
I watched TNG recently,
Okay.
so it was somewhere in the back. It got pushed up the queue on random shit that my brain thinks about, I guess. Put your knife away. Dexterity. I'm gonna get whatever. Persuasion? I don't have. Who cares?
Just
Back
use
his knife in
dexterity. You're a dexterity class, right?
No, I have wisdom and constitution, and everything else is trash.
Oh my god.
A fine effort.
I wasn't gonna beat his dexterity score. He's a dexterity class, but it was the only stat on there that was actually decent.
Now tell me, what just happened?
We
What
had
was that?
sex. You've never had sex before? That's what sex is like, isn't it? Kind of just look at each other, your heads wiggle, and you're like, oh, cool.
Yes. Yes, that has to be it.
Although I don't think we've actually figured that part out, that the worms give us.
Not yet.
I'm half
Or
tempted
whatever.
to spill your guts all over the dirt anyway, but for now, apologies.
I have plenty of guts.
Indeed we are. Please, allow me to introduce myself. My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me.
Cool.
Is that
I'm a
so?
Baldarian.
We clearly move in different circles. So, do
My
you know
animation
anything
is
about these
frozen.
worms?
And it's a great frozen too.
Oh, the eyes do blink though.
Yeah, I saw that.
Turn us into... Of course, it'll turn me into a
You already are a
monster.
monster. What's it matter?
What else did I expect?
Monster 1, Monster 2.
Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things, there might still be
Well, the last
time.
expert we found we had to murder, so we'll see if this timeline does the same.
It will.
You know, I was ready to go this alone, but maybe sticking with the herd isn't such a bad idea. And you seem like a useful person to know. All right, I accept. Lead on.
Hey, you've got a rogue. Congrats.
Whoa, what? I just saw a wolf or a bear pop out of a bush behind him in the last second of that cutscene. What is this? And can I smash it? I want to smash this first. He's right. That thing is right up there, so I'd wait there for just a second. I want... What is this? And I'm gonna smash it. No, I can't smash it. That's dumb. Alright, we can go up.
Smashy, smashy. You should start most of the fights.
Yeah, I do have the most hit points.
More survivors. They're trying to dig
I
something
do
out
have,
of the
and
wreckage.
have the melee characters or whatever.
Not sure, but we'd better find out.
If I have a line of sight on this creature,
Yeah, we just have to kill the creature if we can't talk our way out of it. There is a roll, and I failed it horribly last time.
Don't die, don't die, don't die.
The person they're trying to save, it's the creature from the ship. Still alive, but wounded.
Step back, I'm here to help. Then we murder it. Not
oh
a-
god,
Of fucking course.
this game is just teasing sometimes.
Your words fall on deaf ears. The creature's hold on them is too strong.
You did this. You want to kill her.
Yep, I do.
One hit.
Oh, I thought he was at full health, so I used a big spell, but whatever, it hit him.
There was
That stranded
Fire in the
fisher just
sky and
fucking
then-
bolted. Do you
He's
see
like-
this? She's gone.
voice.
I mean,
Actually, all of
wouldn't
them
you?
are gone.
Wouldn't you? Except for the one talking to me. Unless he's gone in the game and not the cutscene. Which would be weird. But I mean, wouldn't you too? If you were thinking that you were saving like a little girl trapped under a pile of rubble, and then a second later it transforms into tentacle face.
Gotta go.
Just like, nope,
I'm late
bye.
for something.
Gods. I think you're right. It called out from the wreckage. It sounded just like my daughter.
And I don't even have a daughter.
She's been dead for years.
Oh, and she's been dead for years.
The
Okay.
thing got into our heads, drove us mad.
That one is equally
We wrecked
equally
our
disturbing.
boat just trying to get close to it. What do we do now?
Leave?
Not a chance. It's bloody driftwood. And we're in the middle of nowhere, and even... Oh, wait. You. I can feel you.
Oh, this is new.
Just like one of those
No, this
things.
happened last time too.
You're one of them.
Yep.
There's something in your head. Please, we'll take our chances out here. Just leave
How do
us
you know
be.
there's something in my head? Level up.
Those people.
That's ooh.
I get exactly nothing, so I'm done leveling up.
I get stuff.
Yeah, you should probably get to pick spells or something. I'm melee classes, which means I just press the accept button and we're done. Look at that, leveled up.
Oh, I can, my Eldritch Blast gets 2 different things to it. Like, I can add 2 modifiers to it. The first modifier is Antagonizing Blast. Add your Charisma modifiers to Eldritch Blast.
Oh yeah, your spellcasting class, you add your a charisma caster, so your 2-hit and your damage rolls add your charisma modifier. And another thing about Eldritch Blast, if I remember correctly, is if the creature is damaged, it does more damage. So it rolls a higher dice value if they've already taken damage in combat. Or I guess are just not at full health. No, that's Toll the Dead. Never mind.
Do you think Witch Bolt is better? 1d12 is better than the Hideous Laughter?
Hideous Laughter is good and fun. Witch Bolt is also good though. So Witch Bolt is the thing that I was using. If you hit them, you tether. And then you don't have to cast another spell to recast Witch Bolt. So as long as you're tethered and don't cast another spell, I think, or at least another concentration spell, you can use your action or bonus action. I think it's your action to recast Witch Bolt. And it automatically hits. So Witch Bolt is really good. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is also good if it hits because they'll be unable to act and easier to hit.
Footprints. There may be even more that survived the crash.
Okay. Turn undead. Spell slot unlocked.
Crappy bow. Crappy sword.
From Eldritch Horrors to Goblins.
What equipment do we got?
And there it is. He is.
You have a bow and you have a knife. Good job. This scimitar. Oh, you don't have scimitars? A rogue would have a scimitar. A finesse weapon. That seems wrong. Oh well. 1d4 piercing, 1d6 slashing. This one is light. It is not finesse. Need to double check. Where is the thing? Why doesn't that have a hover text? Lies and deceit. Lies and deceit.
Dale.
Them. And let's see. Over here was that one fight.
Over where?
East. Because you had this one fight up here, so I guess it depends on how you want to approach the fight. You're gonna east from there or north from here. Let's go around your way.
Okay.
Guess. Seems as good a way as any to go.
There are people there, if you want to go.
I know there was this fight in here. I'm not sure who those people are to the north there.
Oh, that's how we get into the crypt.
Yeah.
This should be so easy.
Yeah, now
the
that
road goes quick.
Yeah, as a dex class, your proficiency, you also get, yeah, since you're a dex class, you add your dex to your initiative.
That lady was a problem before. All my paths are interrupted. You got her in one hit.
All right, we're good. Yeah, that spell is stupid strong, but also we're low level, so you only get so many, and it isn't that accurate. It's like it's got the same damage as a fireball, but it's a single target, which I mean is probably better. Let's be honest.
%75% on this guy. The reason that he died is because of that upgrade. I did bonus damage to him based on
only 60% change.
I like the dodge, it's really well animated.
Sneak attack. It should always... Let me check that chat log. If it doesn't automatic sneak attack, someone needs to be stabbed. Astron was amazing hands on that was for 7 piercing damage. Roll plus proficiency plus dexterity. Damage is 1d4 plus. It does not auto sneak attack. That is dumb.
I got super fucking lucky on that hit. That was a 46% chance.
Well, at least someone's hitting.
That was a 70. didn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 36% chance to hit him. You should have an easier time now.
This is once per short rest. It's dumb. How did you miss?
I have a 36% chance to hit him. Well, apparently all of my chances are...
Yeah, it's XCOM rules.
I can't... Like, I'm gonna take damage if I get past him.
Don't worry about it. We'll have this guy dead, maybe. Well,
No.
unless you roll like that. I can get him up. I'm next to him. Maybe. No, I can't. I don't have a healing spell anymore. The fact that we don't have Spare the Dying is absolutely bullshit.
Do you think you can do that 2 damage?
Oh, this is his turn. Well, I've got a 60% chance, or do something about that. Cannot. Yeah, I also don't have spells, so we either got to kill him. Yeah. Oh, they've also. I wonder if they've fixed the AI. It's definitely being less of a cunt.
Yeah, it didn't kill him, which it
Yeah.
could have.
Instead of going for the guy that was down, and instead of only attacking the mage, like if we were playing in the last patch, every creature would be focusing you.
Okay.
You just spent the last 3 hours creating a outline for a Geralt Juraskier fan fiction no one asked for. You asked for it, Fallen. You asked for it. Oh, better armor. And I'm probably the only one that can use it.
It's been a long day. I need to rest soon.
Leather armor, probably have leather armor. You do. Oh, shields. I could use a shield. Oh, I already have a shield. Never mind. Yeah, that went a lot easier. But mostly because we were together, not because anything about the game has changed. Let's go ahead and just do a long rest for spells.
Okay. Because you know what's downstairs.
And none of the rest of this stuff matters. Like, we're not going to get anywhere to we can loot it afterwards. Oh, not short rest. Oh, there's 2 short. You get 2 short rests a day? Alright, they increased the number of short rests you get to 2. Honestly, you should get infinity short rests, but whatever. I clicked on the wrong button. And I clicked it twice just to see what it did.
Time and the elements have left the plaque unreadable.
Oh, you're in a dialogue. Alright, now we can go.
This seems as good a place as any to make camp.
Yep, have fun with it. Oh, hi, mage friend. What do you want?
Go to hell.
Okay.
Ha! You're a good sport. Go to hell. An everyday expression. So trivial it's almost meaningless. But we've seen hell. It's real. It isn't trivial. Devils, dragons, mind flayers. They used to be abstracts. Pictures on a piece of paper. What a difference a day makes. Now we have tadpoles slithering through our heads like carnivorous feti. That's not abstract.
They're slithering through our head like confetti? What? How about you go to sleep?
This ballet of flames invites reflection. But you're right. Let's be up with the lark. Find a healer before the wee one gets hungry.
Might not be the time. Might not be the time. Might not be the time.
Shadowheart is a serious character, but doesn't seem like a jerk.
Alright, vampire, we've murdered plenty of people. You can drink their blood. You don't need mine. Alright, we had one dead mage up here, which might have mage stuff for you. There are scrolls up here if you want some scrolls. A simple robe that probably is no better than the one you have on. So I'll just go ahead and take that and the other thing that's no better than what you got, because they're basic ass bitch equipment for sale.
It's loose. One good push away from tumbling.
What I did before is I threw an arrow at it.
Apparently, that has a large AoE.
You were right on top of it.
I wasn't that close. Like, it's not that large. It apparently... It didn't, like, tumble down or anything. It fell straight down. But, yeah. No, that was insta-death. There's no,
Would you like to eat some food? Oh no, you just did a short rest.
Yeah, I haven't stockpiled on food yet. Oh, come on, Bedroll, you could heal me.
This isn't divinity.
If I can eat food to heal, then laying in the bedroll should just also. Like, there's no reason not to. Except for the whole short rest mechanic, which is stupid in this context. There we go. Garlic. I'm just gonna eat a fucking bulb of garlic.
She jumps downstairs without any damage. I love it.
Alright, bunch of bullshit. Alright, let's just go. Oh, also, the groups. Because it doesn't follow you when you do this. Let me get my other guy.
And he did not jump as well.
Dumbass.
Oh, I forgot there's more of those assholes in here. Do you remember
There's
this
a
fight?
bunch of them. Yeah, I remember this one.
I remember this was like a real fight. Mostly due to the fuck, she hits for nothing. I'm right in front. I don't know if that's... That was great.
No, that helps that you were standing there, because I get...
threatened her?
Yeah, I get additional damage whenever she's threatened.
Okay.
45 or 60. 4.
You don't have to do it. You can attack somebody else if there's anybody within sight.
Let's see if this makes a difference. I almost never use bless. Bitch just poisoned their bow.
I can cast water. They're going after the rogue pretty hard.
Oh, you'll at least do one last thing before they murder you.
Excuse me?
Oh, I was talking to the rogue.
Yeah.
12 hit points. 12 hit points.
You can't heal him? Or is it just not worth it?
I can, but the action economy is terrible, so...
There's 2 of them are dead, you know?
No, just in general. So I could use the heal to deal 1d8 plus 3 hit points. So 4 to 11 hit points. But they can do that amount of damage in a turn. So just saving the heal to get them up after they fall down is a better use of it.
Gotcha, okay.
And also, if I can do enough damage to kill someone instead, because I mean, I'm also very limited on heals. So
Gotcha, okay.
The problem is just using a heal in combat is generally just not worth it versus just going ahead doing the damage and yeah. Oh, you can see through that crack still.
Yep. That's a feature.
Hey, someone's in here.
Oh, they didn't get you. You cannot get far enough to do that. You could so far as so much to get what 4 done him.
That was a good hit. There's more people.
Yeah, there was the one guy to the north in the door after they unlock it. Okay, cannot see that person. Oh, you got him anyway. Where you going?
Well, he's not. Oh, but he's an archer, so.
Yeah, but that means we can
reposition outside of his line of sight.
Oh no, I was thinking just we can actually chase him down now. Like, he's gonna keep running away. Plus, it's not like it does any less damage.
Take you.
Did you change the difficulty setting? I've never hit this many shots in a row before.
So the thing is your charisma is added to your abilities or your attack rolls. So your 2-hit is, you also have a higher charisma than you probably had dex on your ranger. So you're also just have a higher 2-hit in general because you have 17 charisma. Whereas, unless you did some stuff to finagle it, the maximum you could have put into it to your ranger was a 16 last time, which I guess would have been the same modifier, maybe, but your proficiency and other stuff combined. Change the detail. But I mean, I was hitting a lot with the mage and terribly with...
No. Do you see what he's gonna do?
Probably nothing.
Okay. That wasn't a fire attack, thank God.
Yeah. No, all the cleric spells are like radiant damage for the most part. Ring mail armor. Ooh, but it's heavy and... Okay. Crash. There are some scrolls. I'll just send them to you whenever I pick them up. All right, we have some looking around to do. I have a bunch of sausage to steal.
They've balanced out the sausage. There's no more sausage.
Ah, there'll be sausage later. There's always sausage. No, there's one. Dried sausage links.
I was just making up shit.
There was more cheese here than sausage, but we will get that sausage.
Now I'm at the outside again.
There's that secret door we wanted to look for with the other thing.
We're still not high enough level to fight those,
Something divine lingers here. But I don't recognize this presence.
Where are you looking? Because my person has arcane and
I was just wandering around because they said something about a divine presence, so I was seeing if I could see something. But I don't, so whatever. Well, the secret door, we have to go across the hallway, read a book, find out about the door.
I don't remember, it was so long ago.
I know where the door is at. You might just get it on a roll too as well. Something about chapel records. There was maybe...
No lock? Handle? How does it open? Something over there.
There we go. There's a lever.
What did that do?
It opened the door.
Don't remember what else was in here. There was other stuff to murder? Maybe.
This place wasn't
There
built for the
was, but
living.
it wasn't as difficult as that last room.
This place wasn't built for the living.
Let's do a save. Try this, and then end for the night if we fail. Or succeed,
Sure.
either way.
Yep. I guess it is late.
It's about our normal amount.
It is. I mean, once you factor in, crashes, I can try to lockpick it. Apparently, you could just charm doors.
You never know, it might be a monster.
Nope.
But yeah, I guess I actually have the person that should be doing lockpicking anyway.
Yeah, you do. Last time it was me, but this time it's definitely you.
Unlocked.
Yeah, I remember this room. Oof.
Armed scribes. But no sign of a struggle.
Let me, instead of going there, let me see if this person
What
can
was
tell
so
what
subversive about their words that they commanded protection?
religion failed.
This must be
He succeeded.
worships the final scribe anymore.
Oh, what did he say?
I don't know, just some bullshit, probably. Not showing up in the queue, so I don't know what he said.
The inscription is in a language unknown to you.
I am clicking places, and it is running me off in directions that make no goddamn sense.
Would this be a Larian Studios show thing if it didn't do that?
Normally whenever I'm clicking on the map, like where I'm clicking, it's not failing at pathfinding. It is moving the circle that I clicked on to somewhere completely and arbitrarily wrong. That I have not seen. Failing at pathfinding would definitely be an expected experience.
Gotcha.
Something over there.
Button. Oh, yeah, I forgot the button is actually the trigger.
Yep, and now they're up.
And you're just running around as they get up in the cutscene. If there are that many.
Oh, hells. Something just woke up.
They're way weaker than they were before.
It was only one guy that was a problem. Everything else was weak. There's just one guy with like 30 health.
20, yeah, I see him. He's coming for me.
If we can't do that, And can't do that. So we will dash.
Some weird sounds. Oh, you're silent.
It looks like it's an AoE though. Or it is an AoE, so it's not a problem. Ranged attack. Miss. Well, at least have the interest of some of them.
Yeah, I mean... I'm gonna be fighting that guy. Oh, he doesn't hit hard though.
Oh, that's a terrible chance to hit.
Nope.
Bitch, I told you to dash. You fucking... Alright, you don't need to memorize or... I need to drag it to my hotbar. Motherfucker. Okay, you're just gonna fucking be like that. Alright, whatever. We will just never use that ability ever again.
My turn. Already.
I can't get out of the inventory screen. It has bugged so the inventory screen is always on top. And I can't click through it.
That's
And if I open it and close it again, it spawns a second inventory screen. Map? Maybe map? Nope. Yeah, this is... Well... I can't assign you the other people, can I? During combat. I may not be able to help you at all for the rest of combat.
Well, I'm not as worried about that so much as, you know, switching the turn.
Well, I can end turn. I still have the ability to end turn, click any of my abilities. I just cannot click through to target anything. So I can't do anything that requires a target, which is basically everything.
Everything, yeah.
Nope, you can't use the bottom row to select people to target. Oh well. Doot 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 boop boop beep boop. Have fun finishing this fight on your own. I can at least open the menu, which will allow me to save, but that's it.
Oh,
assuming that you can 2v4 this last part.
So Hex is 100%. I didn't notice. Okay.
You could, I guess, drink a healing potion and hopefully we'll distract them.
Yeah, I'll try to be as quick as possible. Clack, clack. I feel like they know you're disabled and they're
just ignoring me now. Yeah. The game knows that it's fucked me, so the game knows not to come after me. Oh, sorry. Didn't realize it was my turn.
Yeah, no problem.
I can't tell.
That seems fair. Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice roll, though. I can barely see through the inventory screen.
But this is gonna give us like talk to dead very early, which is gonna. I don't know why it's always 55%. Maybe there's a better angle I could take.
No, it's basically calculating. The math is there based on your stats versus their stats, and if you flank someone, if you have someone next to them to flank, then your percentage chance of going up for melee. So your 2-hit would go up for melee attacks, but...
I know why we did better this time. I stole all their weapons.
We weren't able to do that last time.
I took all the weapons off of them.
Yeah. We weren't able to do anything with the corpses last time, if I remember correctly. Which is why this went a whole lot better this way. Because they gave you some system to make the fight suck less.
Okay. The remaining guys should be much easier.
Yeah, these two that were down here were mages, and they're out of spells, I guess. So I soaked the spells for them, and now they're just useless.
They're just slowly rattling. Can you get out of the menu now?
Nope.
I mean, if you can save, this is definitely the good place
Yeah,
to save, and then...
Yeah, I can save. So...
Awesome.
There we go. Oh, sweet. The inventory screen remains even during the loading screen to go back to the main menu.
So it's, you found a good one.
Yeah, I found a good one. Which is interesting, because they're reinitializing they're instantiating inventory screens. And not just having like a singleton inventory screen.
There's probably a reason for that. Like,
I mean, they are showing different things and keeping other stuff, but... yeah. Oh, it's gone. Maybe. Nope, it's back. Okay, I can't change through any of the other things. Equipment, character sheet, journal, map. My party gold's still accurate. Anyway, that went well.
Yeah. I mean, we always end on some, crash or game-breaking bug, so...
Yep. in my head, I was thinking, all right, I've saved. We're gonna do this thing. We're probably just gonna die. It's like, I've saved and said we're ending soon. It has 2 minutes to figure out how to screw me and cause a bug. And it did not disappoint. It found a way. Life finds a way.
Just like a life, right? Oh, man. Did he die? Did Jeff Goldblum's character die in the first one?
He died in the book. And I don't remember, I don't remember if it was a retcon because he is alive in the second movie and a major part of the following movies. Or at least the second movie. So I don't remember if it was a retcon for the second movie because fans liked him, or if it was a retcon from the book to the first movie. Forget which one it was. He was definitely seriously injured, but in the book he dies, or the character dies. So I know there's, on the lore front, there is some sort of retcon where he lives, but I don't remember where it happened.
Okay. So, because I was wondering about that. I always thought he died in the first, but then I keep hearing about him in the other movies, and people just love the lines.
Yeah, he was definitely severely injured. I forget if we see him on the helicopter on the way out in the final scene. So maybe.
They left it ambiguous.
But yeah, there's a retcon somewhere, but we can look that up. Why not?
Okay. You know what? I think maybe I'm gonna watch the character creation for Cyberpunk, see how that goes. Because basically I feel like I'm gonna watch something and then not like the game. Because all the advertising, half of it is like, you're not gonna like this.
Yeah, their entire advertising over the last 2 months has been doubling down and embracing the most toxic part of their fan base, which is definitely also turning people off from wanting to buy the game in the circles that I hang out in, which tend to be more female and generally game industry related. So they're like, we already see enough of this toxic shit in my Twitter feed because I'm a girl in games. I don't need it also in advertising.
I don't know, something about it, I'm like, I almost want to like the game at this point because there's so much hype and stuff about it, but then I keep seeing the advertising and I'm like,
yeah, it's pretty. It has cool stuff. It's got that neon Tokyo retro future 80s sort of vibe to it. It's got guns. It's got robots and cyborg shit. And so there's a lot of it's open world. There's a lot of cool stuff there. But then also their approach is really what's going to be whether or not it's going to be. Yeah, because it's got Kiana in it. Cool. But if they get into a certain point and it's just it's just going to come down to whether or not they did the characters well enough to be like, okay, or not. Because I think where it'll come down to. But I'm probably just going to skip it because I'm going to probably forget it exists once it's launched and then the hype dies down a week later.
that happens a lot, yeah. Happens a lot. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, man. But yeah, well, this was a good run. I feel like I don't know if this is going to keep up as we encounter more enemies, where the game doesn't feel like it's punishing you for fighting. You know, I mean, the fights could go wrong. You know, like the possibility exists, but it doesn't feel like it's going to smash that possibility into your face. At least for now. We'll see, because I felt like pretty good about the fighting early on the first time too. So, we'll see what happens.
Your character is doing well, but I think the mage did pretty well last time too. Our characters are, or the problem with clerics is a lot of their spells are saving throw based, and saving throws are a bit higher earlier on. So a wisdom saving throw, a lot of characters and a lot of monsters and stuff easily have like a +3 or something to that saving throw. So when they only have to hit like a 12, having a +3 really makes that a roll of an 8 or better. It really diminishes that, because yeah, whenever you cast a spell and it has that little saving throw resolve icon over their head, monsters, so it's your proficiency plus your modifier in the thing. So if it's a wisdom saving throw, it's your wisdom plus your proficiency, plus whatever you roll. And like if a character is proficient in wisdom for some reason, like depending on class, some are, some aren't. Like the cleric, that's a +5 to your wisdom saving throw.
Gotcha. So yeah.
So that's why those are lower. And we don't have any real crowd control. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. I know flanking gives you advantage, and that's big, but we don't really have... Like, me and the rogue are...
single target.
Well,
yeah.
can go into melee. So I guess we... But, yeah, whatever. We'll see. If the rogue gets swashbuckling stuff, then it'll be better for him in a bit, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yes.
Yeah, we'll see when we hit level 3 what they actually have in there. Warlock. I wonder what their warlocks in the game have, because warlock, when you hit level 3, can be really good. But I don't know if you're gonna stay at caster. I go one of the really stupid warlock directions that I guess most people don't, but I love it. It's a really weird... It turns a caster into a melee fighter. It removes most of your spell slots, but then it gives you heavy armor and a spirit weapon given to you by your warlock patron. And then your charisma is your combat modifier.
Oh.
So like a fighter has strength, a ranger or a rogue. Well, I guess a ranger can be either, but then your dexterity fighter like your rogue. But there's a weird path in the warlock that you can take depending on what material they have in here. I don't know if that's in the PHB or if that's what in extension book that I have. It is an official extension, but whatever. If it is. But it basically gives you charisma as your combat stat, which means you add your charisma to your weapon hit on your attack roll and your damage rolls. Because it's a sort of a spirit weapon. And it's spirit weapon and spirit armor, I think, is what it gives you. It basically turns you into a fighter, which I think is cool and interesting because you can summon your weapons instead of having like physical weapons. So I really like the RP and this whole aesthetic of what it allows you to do. So you don't actually have like a real weapon anymore. It's now, yeah, basically
durability. If that's a thing.
You're Kuwabara. That's what you are.
Oh, okay, yeah. You hacker shit, right?
Yep. I recently watched that as well.
That's really cool. Okay, yeah.
So we'll see
We'll
about
have
that.
to see.
Otherwise, you're just going to be a strong cast. The two things. So either you're going to get access to that, which I think is really cool, but also the other options are you get a demon pet. So you sort of become like a demon ranger. So you're ranged with a summon with a pact to a some sort of demonic creature of some sort. Basically a familiar of demon type. And then once you get to 3 in additional times past that, you actually, your warlock will be a little bit difficult on your level up because you'll just have a bunch of options. Because you choose from a list of packs, warlock packs, and so you can choose to get a demon familiar, or you can choose the path I was talking about with the sort of demonic weapon stuff. Or a couple other things, and then they have sort of these additional things you can pick, like one will give you dark vision and some other bonus stuff, some other things
I could have gotten dark vision. That came up at least on 2. But...
Okay, yeah, so you'll have a lot more of those sort of choices as you level up to become more demonic, I guess.
Gotcha. Cool. No, it'll be interesting. It's very different than the last one.
Ranger, the Ranger was pretty much straightforward. I guess you didn't get high enough level where you were starting to really get into spells. Or you probably didn't even have any spells yet.
I had a couple. So, let's see.
But yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see. This is about where we got to last time, but we did play, or the first session, but we did play less this time. Well, we had the crash. We started a little bit later.
But we did so much more.
We also skipped a bunch of stuff since there wasn't any actual good loot. So, so far, looting stuff isn't really worth it. I'm getting some of the high-priced equipment items to sell, but whatever.
Yeah.
We also really didn't run into a situation where we needed a ton of money or saw anything that was really worth it until we got to that rogue group hidden in the cave.
Yeah.
And even then, everything was stupid expensive, so it kind of just requires getting to a higher level fast enough that the reward for quests and stuff is worth it, it seems. We'll see. Not entirely sure how their thing is.
We'll see.
Yep.
At least it's not a worse experience than before. At least right up front.
Yeah, your character seems to be doing better. So, and they're not 100% attacking the mage and no one else. So that is also, yeah, that was basically just on. But I don't know if the game is saying the rogue is potentially more of a problem. So maybe the game is just thinking that the rogue is a higher priority target than the mage. Which, once you start getting to higher levels, that is actually true, but at lower levels, the mage is still a better target. So I don't know if it's just that in the priority it's changed because we have a different party layout, or if they actually aren't just going after the mage. We'll find out, I guess.
We'll see. Yeah. These fights have felt better. Because I know that fight, we tried it 3 times, and it just was a disaster.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we weren't able to take any of the weapons or interact with the bodies really in any manner.
Yeah, okay.
Beforehand.
Maybe that's what it was. What a simple little thing, you know? Very simple. It almost seems like it was a feature that they just, didn't get to fully implement. That it's not just a body, it's also a character, and it can come back, and its items are the items on it. I think that they just hadn't fully finished that system, or something along those lines.
Yeah, because that would be more like it's a dead body there, and then under the hood they just cast a res on all the characters.
Yeah.
And then whatever's in their inventory gets re-equipped. like basically the same system as player characters, because you can, if they're down, you can steal their equipment and then whatever. But that's going to be interesting to see how they eventually fix that, because one, when we tried to, when I was dead last time, we can't go to camp, so there's no way to fix being dead other than to buy a scroll, which means you have to get a scroll, which means you'd have to go teleport somewhere to buy one. If you don't have any money, then you're going to have to go find the money to do it. And you can't just hit the button to go to camp and say, oopsie doodles, they're rezzed again, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because that could definitely be a problem, especially in multiplayer, because like if you didn't have the money and then you don't have another way to do it, and they're just sitting there dead, what are they gonna do? Just like I know some of the times we were playing, it's like, well, if we didn't reload here and we kept playing, I would literally be doing nothing for the next hour until you found a solution to the problem, which would be finding a vendor, maybe, to buy one. A little bit later, it'll be easier to teleport places and get vendors, but definitely this early, definitely a problem. Because they are still expensive. They're not as expensive as Divinity, but still a bit expensive.
Oof.
Especially based on charisma and stuff, because the prices vary based on stats.
Oh, that's cool. I did not think about that. So the high charisma can really work out. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think they had that in Divinity, but it was a specific skill or stat that you had to put it into, and not... Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. A lot of stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it becomes more jank when we get to the Fire City next time.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah. But we'll have the dead talking, so that will
that might help. I don't know if it helps in the Fire Town. It would help in the thing after. Maybe there's a couple other places nearby. Oh, we still have to go to the... Actually, we have to do the Druid Grove first.
You do.
So... that'll take a minute.
It's not going to take us that long. I feel like we're going to
yeah, we talked to everybody last time and kind of dicked around, looked through everything, did a bunch of looting and stuff, but we're just going to bypass most of that this time because we've already done it. And there wasn't anything, at least in the last patch, that made it worthwhile doing. So, unless there's something we think that's going to give us XP, we're going to go do that and then move on.
I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and this is hilarious. YouTube comments at their best. Maybe you'll find this interesting. Because somebody's running some high-res mod of Breath of the Wild. Oh, they're using a Wii emulator and then upscale. Oh my god. And they've put in a lot of mods into this.
Wait, so they're playing Breath of the Wild on a Wii U emulator?
Yeah, with a bunch of stuff
Okay.
added on top of it.
I suppose the hardware probably didn't change that much between generations, other than get stronger. So so it's possible. Unlike well, I guess as well with PlayStation and Xbox, the hardware is not getting stupid again.
Yeah.
Because Sony did, I mean, it was a bit early on, so the PS3 had the opportunity to do some weird shit because of new technology. And now it's just
Wii version. There's a Wii U version of Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, because it was probably released and then they did a back port or whatever before because it was a launch title. So that, yeah, okay, so yeah, there probably is just a Breath of the Wild version for that. So never mind, that makes sense.
And something is going to tell me that the graphics aren't going to be very different on both of them. Because Nintendo hasn't really been pushing graphics, right?
Yeah, they don't push graphics hardware. So the way they do graphics is all stylized, and then that all just depends on just how they do it. So the Wii U is probably the Switch running in handheld mode. It's probably an equivalent. I don't know the exact specs. This could be a completely wrong fact, but like, because whenever you run the Switch in handheld mode, it only runs at 720, I think. Yeah. So it's probably the same thing. It's probably built into the game or into the engine or whatever to just be able to downscale it. Whatever works.
Yeah, actually the Switch version does look a little bit better. I'm looking at a comparison video right now. But it looks like if you put enough mods and an emulator in, you can
Yeah, the Switch version would look better because the hardware is better, so they can put in some additional stuff. But if you have an emulator on a machine and can get around the emulation sort of limiters, then yeah, I'm sure you could get it to look just as good or better. Quote unquote better, because
they pushed it to 8K.
Because that whole thing going around last year where people were replacing the textures on the trees in Pokemon, saying they were quote-unquote better textures for trees and shit. Oh man, that entire fucking discourse was a hot mess.
Better textures for trees? What the fuck?
They didn't like the way the trees looked and said they look stupid, they don't look next gen, they don't look like trees. But it's like, yeah, because Nintendo does stylized art on their hardware for the most part. But they were replacing them with bump mapped tree textures with like 4K repeating textures on them and stuff instead of the one or two extremely small textures with like the stylized just splotch stuff to give it some slightly different texturization. And people were like updating the models so that they weren't as chunky and stuff, and it's like, these do not fit the art style of the rest of the game. The fuck is your problem? Like, no, you didn't make the tree look better.
It's
it
better.
now doesn't fit.
People are funny.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Oh, people are fucking. Oh my god. By Funyun. So much stupid discourse I see cross my timeline before I mute it. Like, anime discourse. Some motherfuckers out there are like, I can't watch anime unless it's at 120 frames per second.
That doesn't exist.
I run it through a program that will interpolate the frames for 120 frames per second. Otherwise, it feels like my eyes are being gouged out with sandpaper. Like, this is almost verbatim one of the fucking things I saw across my timeline. People are going out there, taking something that is displayed at 24 frames per second, because that's how the eye perceives things and that's how everything's animated, and then getting software to interpolate the frames up to 160 frames per second so that they're quote-unquote smoother and matching the frame rate of their monitors.
Yikes.
I really enjoyed your really long pause on that. But that's about how I felt on the whole discourse when I first saw it. I've had some time to come to peace that these people exist. Enjoy knowing that they exist and that this discourse happens.
Oh man. Like, you know, here's the thing, right? I actually, like, if you want to do that to your own anime and tell people how you did it and why, what's the problem, right? Just let them do it. That's where I needed to get to. I needed to get to the let them do it. I don't think anybody really cares, right?
They care.
Enough to yell about, like, look at you pleb, you know, watching anime at its intended resolution frame rate. Like,
yes.
what? Sure.
They'll go out of their way to be like completely unwatchable. And it's like, dude.
Thank you for letting us all know. We'll take that under advisement.
I suppose that's just the logical progression of people saying you have to get 400 frames per second out of your game or whatever, or else it's 1 second. Okay, they turned the other way, so they won't be loud. Yeah, so like, people are like, you have to get the most frames out of your game as possible, otherwise it doesn't look right. And it's like, but if your monitor can only have certain amount of refresh rate, the additional frames are a waste of your time.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Because
sometimes,
like,
yeah, depending on the game updating in the background and how the physics stuff and things like that, it could.
And your reaction times actually, like, the game will respond quicker to your inputs.
Yeah.
So there's less perceived.
But visually, you're not going to get any different.
Oh, no, you're not.
So, but I suppose it's the logical progression from that mentality to, let's also apply it to other things that make no damn sense. But yeah, it also depends, because depends on the engine. Go ahead.
I was going to say that high frame rate stuff does look nice. Even things that shouldn't. Like, yeah, I don't know if you ever played Slay the Spire, but it's a card game, and it actually looks better at 120 frames. I mean, you get no advantage.
Yeah,
you're wasting energy.
If your monitor has 120 hertz refresh rate, I mean, the way that the animations are done is interpolation based on time on screen space, so you will get a smoother transition if your monitor can actually display it at the same rate that you're getting.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like the way Slay the Spire works, a lot of that stuff is sort of drawn in lines, whether or not they're vectors or however they're deciding to do it under the hood. The animations and stuff are all being done tweening from point A to point B, which means your time step will get better based on frame rate. So you'll have smaller time steps being rendered.
Yep. And it looks nice.
But yeah, and yeah, I was gonna say it depends on the game you're playing, because like to some degree, but like some games, so like that, it's kind of why some fighting games feel better than other fighting games, is some fighting games actually double update their input every frame. So
really?
So they'll check twice. Like they'll check, some games under the hood will check multiple times for input, even if they're rendering at a slower rate. So even if they're rendering at like 30 frames per second, they'll still be pulling input at 60 or 120 frames per second.
Oh, that's expensive then, right? Or it's not as expensive as actually displaying all those frames, but...
Yeah, so it'd be like if simulating physics under the hood. Either you're simulating physics extra, just so you get smoother physics and less kind of jank, or you decide to simulate physics less because it's expensive and you don't want the game to actually... Like, it's a fun mechanic and not actually critical to the game to have the physics.
Yeah.
So, okay. You can set your physics, and most of your game engines, you can be like, okay, I actually only want my physics to update on a fixed time step of a quarter second, that's probably a bit ridiculous, but you can have you can say fixed time step for my physics is this versus other stuff. So you can say, okay, more physics, more processing, less physics, less processing, and just so it won't happen, doesn't necessarily have to happen every frame, depending on how you're calculating stuff and what you're... Because usually your physics rendering and your physics and your rendering are broken up and not actually tied together in your modern game engines. So it's not do rendering, or it's not update game, update physics, render scene. It's now they're both separated, and it's not just one tight game loop. It's kind of it's kind of threaded, and that they're working on different time steps. Anyway, we stopped playing about an hour ago. I'm gonna go ahead and end the call and take the dog out and do some other stuff.
Oh, I was muted and I was saying I gotta go, so...
Alright.
Okay,
later. Anyway, thank you all you cuties and goblins for being here and watching an absolutely broken jank screen while I rambled about some really dumb shit for probably over an hour. I'm not sure anyone's playing. There is a Sam playing, but that doesn't always give me all my options. Let me check. There are other options. Just Sam. Sam without a plan. Nah, we just gonna be done. So, thank you all you cutie goblins and cutie goblins among you for being here. We're just gonna go ahead and end tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I appreciate it.